Brooks is in New York at NYU, so I'm hoping he's not thinking about Jen Shah when he's living his New York City life and going out for his own martinis. I wouldn't
Exactly.
think so. What about, like, as we wrap up, a few final questions, what about Whitney on Watch What Happens said that, Rihanna slips into her DMs, and Rihanna said, like, Heather and Whitney are great. Like, has anyone that we would think, wow, that has slipped into your DMs? Any Rihanna type slipping into your DMs, Meredith, telling you
Uh,
how much they love watching you?
I don't know. I have a lot of people, maybe not quite at Rihanna level, but a lot of people say, really nice things, and that's nice. A lot of people say mean things, but usually when they DM you, it's unusual that you get the really mean ones DMing you unless you're like really in the hot spot, you know, then they love to DM you. But the last couple weeks for me has been a little calmer and more peaceful, so that's been nice. But yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I've had a lot of support from a lot of really great special people that are influential, not at Rihanna's level necessarily, but
I didn't mean to just make them necessarily at Rihanna's level. I mean, it could be, what about, yeah, what about when this was all happening, like, and people were slipping into your DMs, were you just inundated with people wanting to know about Jen, like, as you filmed, and even now, like, is that when people reach out, or is it more about, like, everything you've gone through, which now it seems like it's passed on the show?
yeah, I mean, like in real time during Jen's arrest, things like that, I didn't read my DMs. Like there are times I check out, I'm very far behind on my DMs. I'm sorry to everyone that has sent me a DM that I haven't responded to. It's hard, I this is not my only job. I'm running a company, and it's like having 2 or 3 full-time jobs, and I've got a family and a whole life too on top of it. So and sometimes it's just better for my mental health. And so when Jen was arrested, I didn't want to get into it with anybody. It's not my place, and so I just kind of checked out and I didn't really read most of it.
I think I even spoke to you during that, and I'm like, I'm not going to bring up Jen Shah. I mean, I would have liked to, but in what world are you going to say, okay, David, let me take a minute and tell you everything that's going on? Like, I mean, come on now. So I don't know who would bring it up. What about, how is Meredith Marks, the businesswoman, doing? What's up with the business?
I am completely slammed. I have a lot of things that we're working on, a lot of things that we're launching. And it's intense, We're really trying to build a full lifestyle brand, kind of one step at a time, because, it's a lot. And there are a lot of supply chain issues. And, uh, I've been working on this coffee that I was hoping I would have by now, and I think we're probably honestly going to take a lot more time marketing it because we can get small quantities, but not really big ones yet. So we'll work with what we can. We'll send you some. But I'm really trying to expand everything. We had started, the spa collection with the robes. We're expanding into eye masks, slippers. We're gonna have like the paper face masks. We're working on so many different things right now. It's really fun, but and more apparel coming as well. Um, but it's a lot of moving parts, a lot.
Meredith Marks coffee, yes, please. I mean, there's nothing I like more than coffee. I'm from New York, so I mean, what else? I mean, right. I mean, I guess the show must be great for the business, though, like you said, right? Like COVID's a setback because of like supply chain issues, but like the
Well,
show
yeah,
must have.
COVID was a setback on on every level for
Yes.
most businesses. For some
Yes.
people, it was fantastic business wise. Sad to say, but true. Um, but basically, that was it's sort of like we had a at least a probably 6 9 month period where really it was hard to move anything forward. But now, things are going back, and it takes a little time, and that's okay. I don't, I have the rest of my life. I don't need to do it all tomorrow. But I'm excited. I'm really excited about what's to come. I have a lot of great new products coming, and they will all tie back full circle. The whole story will make sense, I promise. I know it sounds a little disjointed as I'm telling you now, but it will all circle back.
Listen, you've been open, you've shared a bunch, it all makes sense. I would just we're eagerly awaiting the rest of the season. Do you think, final two questions. One, how does Chloe like having made an appearance on the show? I mean, I know she's been on the show before, but she's featured more. Are we going to be seeing more of Chloe and or Reed?
Yeah. So Chloe, our first season, she had basically filmed that one time and it was not the most positive experience, as I think most of you all know. So she kind of backed off after that. And this year she stuck a toe in the water again, and I think feels much better about everything. I mean, we had such a fun lunch with Heather and Ashley, and Chloe and Ashley really do like each other and get along very well. And so that's really, really nice as well. And so, yeah, you'll see more of her. I mean, she's in and out of town. So it's just a matter of when. Brooks, too, though. He's, in and out of town. So it's just like, if you're here, you're here. Everybody is in and out of stuff as well. Um, but Reed is, he works like crazy. I mean, that's just the world he's in right now, and he's just not around very much, because he doesn't have the time to travel and come back to Utah as much as the other kids.
See, another reason why you need to be in New York, you know?
That's right.
And final question, then, unless you want to share anything else, do you think the viewers are going to be satisfied with everything regarding Jen, like when the season is all said and done? I mean, barring the reunion, which I know you don't know about yet.
In terms of
Just
her relationships,
knowledge,
or in terms of her like charges?
like knowledge, like everyone says, well, what have we really learned about Erica Jane? What have we really learned? We haven't learned anything. The reunion's, over. What have we learned? Like, do you feel like, even though it's changing every day, like the viewers are going to feel like, okay, we understand this case more?
Um, I mean, again, I'm not there for everything, and there's a lot that I don't see, so I'm not really sure. But given that there is a trial that is set for next March, I think it's going to be pretty hard for the viewers to really feel closure on it. It's just, I don't know which, and it's not even a knock on Jen. I don't know what she could say to give the viewers closure at this juncture. I don't think anybody
True.
could. It's just, there's a trial looming, so of course there are going to be questions whether even if she had like the most black and white evidence, it would be hard with a trial looming for anyone to be like, oh, okay, great. So I don't know how that's possible.
That's a good point. And I'm just knowing this lovely audience of housewives, more is more. So in a way, they're never going to feel
More
satisfied. I
is
don't mean
more.
that, right?
No, it's, you know what? That's the fun of Housewives for the viewers, is that there are questions, there are holes, there are two sides to the story. There are things that don't make sense so that everyone can speculate. It's not, Housewives is not like, what is it when you could go online and watch like the Big Brother cameras when they're not even airing,
Like the live
whatever.
feeds. Yeah. The live
Yeah,
feeds.
it's not a live feed. It's snippets that you see that are put together that you're supposed to have questions about. Things aren't supposed to be solved. What would be the fun and entertainment if you had all the answers immediately? You have to speculate a little bit. And that's what can be hard for us on the backside of that, is like, maybe you don't know everything, but we have a pretty good idea. And sometimes you're like, they're all saying this about me, and I know that's not really what happened. And I'm not going to really answer you either, because whoops, we just lost my light, because that's part of of the show. And that's what we want. We want you to find entertainment through the speculation.